Hey guys, welcome to our last podcast of 2018. We're so glad that you're here watching with us. We're excited and happy that we get to do this. We got a different setup today. We stepped it up a notch. Riley got us the hookup here. We're actually at UNCC recording today our podcast, and we're happy that we get to use the studio. Excited to be with these guys. I got Riley here, I got Angel here. And listen, the new year's coming up. People like to sit and talk about goals and the things that they want. So happy New Year, by the way. If you're watching this in 2019, if you're watching it in 2018, get ready. You're getting ready to party. I'm going to be partying. Are you going to be partying? Yeah. So what are those like? What do they call New Year resolutions? What are your New Year resolutions going to be this year?
I don't know if I have one yet, but I am looking forward to the finishing of our church. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. That's coming up. I don't know. I think it's like April, like
April-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm very. I can't wait for that to happen. I feel like we could take the ministries that are happening, and as you know, we all work with the youth. So I'm just pumped to see what we do next with the youth and the new building, how we get to spread the word. So that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to seeing and stepping up in the ministry as well. So
that's a big thing I'm excited for. I feel like 2019 is gonna be a big year. I don't know why, but just a lot going on. I guess.
I haven't set any goals yet. Not like I'm gonna lose weight or anything.
Get up earlier. Speaking of which,
pray one more hour, Jesus.
Well, that's cool. I mean, just to think of the extra space we're gonna have and stuff, the ministry opportunities that we're gonna be able to have in the new space. I mean, I'm excited. I'm just excited in general. I want to, just seeing my son grow, and you know what I'm saying, his first birthday, and just being able to spend the summer. And summer is really big for me. That's what I look forward to, is the summer, because of being able to just hang out outside and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I'm excited for 2019 to see what it has to offer. I don't know that I like you said. I guess I'm always gonna say I'm going to try to hit the gym a little bit more and eat a little bit better, get these guns working again. But, other than that, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to the new year. Looking forward to the new year.
Yeah. I actually have kind of set some goals, not necessarily resolutions, but I've just been wanting to get more organized. And the hardest thing for this semester, the school year for me, has been getting up early. So I want to be able to get up like at 6, not like it was early for me. I have classes at 10 and I get up at like 9. So, but just to be more productive and utilize my time wisely, and as always, just keep staying healthy. So,
Now you mentioned your son. I also am looking forward to seeing my new baby's on the way.
Whatever it is.
I actually do want a girl. I don't know. I want a girl. I feel like girls are closer to daddy, right? But Lucas is super close to me right now, so I'm looking forward to that. He or she is coming on July.
That's cool. That's a summer baby, man. That's awesome. Summer babies are good, man.
Hey,
I was born December 11th, so my birthday.
Yeah, it's coming up.
was coming
Where
up.
are we? We don't know. Depending on when we're 11th.
I just turned 34 a few weeks ago. Sorry.
No, so party. Lucas party. How old are you turning?
34, man. Yeah, I know. It's rough.
Oh, old.
1984, man.
No, I'm kidding.
I've had a good life. Look at this, though.
Still looking good. Not a day over 22.
No, but seriously, I'm really actually in that topic, and this is one of the things that we want to talk about today with you guys. Is we want to discuss this topic of balance. Whether you've kind of lost balance or you're kind of being unbalanced in one area or the other. It's one of those things that, as we talk of the new year, I'm like super looking forward to it. It's like one of those things where I look at my year today and I say, I know what to do, I know how to do it, and I'm ready to go forward. But I'm stuck in my current situation right now that I just can't get away with.
Gotta execute.
Yeah, you gotta finish it up, right? Like it's one of those things like, oh my gosh, now at this point, I just got to finish and then kind of start fresh and just get myself going and figure out, I'm just one of those guys, man. When it comes to balance, I'm one of those yes guys. Riley, if you called me and told me I'm moving on Saturday, and I'm like, okay, I don't have anything Saturday till 2:00, I could come help you in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm there in the morning. And then next thing you know, I had something Friday in the morning, then Saturday in the afternoon, and I'm losing my mind, but my intentions were good. You know what I'm saying? It was never my intentions not to be on balance or not to spend time with my, having a kid is so important to me because he's asleep at 8:30.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking, I plan things in the evenings, not realizing that I've been working all day and I haven't seen him. And when I get home, he's asleep, and I'm like shedding a tear, like, balance is one of those things that is so key and so important. And it's one of those things that we constantly talk about, but we never do anything about it.
I feel like it's like you and I always talk about perspective, and it's kind of in the same boat of balance. Like we're always like, it's all about perspective, changing your perspective.
Yeah.
It's also all about balance, and like every area in our life and then our entire life can either be balanced or unbalanced, and the things it affects is crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you were saying, I mean, you put all these things in your plate, and I'm the same way. I mean, whenever there is something that needs to be done, although I'm not up for it, I'm still there, and I want to help, and I want to do everything that I can, because I know that with each talent and with whatever I could give, I'm there. But at the same time, I find myself burning myself out. Like I find, like, I come home and then I'm just like burnt, and not realizing sometimes that without meaning to do it, but sometimes I kind of push my family aside, thinking I'm doing the right thing. Right. And that's one thing that I was thinking, too much of something good turns bad.
Yeah. You know what the crazy thing is, that it's become like we've gone from one extreme to the other. When I think of balance, I think that the solution has become, because I can't seem to get it together, right? Because we're good people, we want to serve. We're caught in a weird position, right? We're not talking work. We do our 8, or 10 hours or whatever at work, and then we're off, right? But what I'm saying is all this extra stuff, ministry, for instance, you know what I'm saying? You're a college student, we have full-time jobs, we think of these things and we start to, but nowadays the solution to balance or to an unbalanced life has become not to do anything. Right? It's just we go from doing it all to like, you know what? I don't know how to do it, balance, so I'm just not going to do it at all. And I have, so it's crazy because I don't think God is pleased with this one. And he's not, or the other one. You know what I'm saying? I believe that God wants you to figure out a way to live a balanced life. And it's all priority. You know what I'm saying? You mentioned on it, you said, although I'm doing something good, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily mean that that's a priority for my life. You know what I'm saying? And today, we have such a hard time getting, everything is so demand, time, fast, accomplish a lot, very little. You know what I'm saying? There's not any depth to what we do. There's not any, profound to the things that we do, because everything, we're trying to knock so many things out of the way,
Yeah, I think the life right now, like you said, just doing and accomplishing and more, we try to take in so much, but little do we know, like, it's mostly about the process and living the life instead of accomplishing your goal. Yes, that's important, but getting there is also just as important, if not more. And if you're unbalanced and you have so much going on, you look up and you're like, man, the whole year went by, and or the whole week, man, this week flew by and I don't even know what I did. And just had so much, and I find myself overcommitting to things so often, and it's something that within, honestly, the last 2 weeks I've been focusing on, like, I've got to at some point kind of have my best interest in mind, because I can easily overextend myself and be committed to so many things that I'm running back and forth, and for me it affects my school, because naturally that's the thing that I want to drop and I'll push aside, and I'd much rather do other things and help other people. I don't like to say no, I don't like to let people down, so always, but when that's out of balance, it can be detrimental to, for me it's like my grades, and obviously with other people's family matters and whatnot, so it's really important. And my mom always said, like if I call her and talking about my schedule and stuff, you know, she's like, all right, well, you know, make sure you can say no, like if you're busy, because, and it's, you know, I love my mom. She always relates it back to, you know, our faith, and that, especially in ministry, if you're doing too much and you're finding that you're become drained or you're really dying out, it's like you're either starting to rely on yourself too much and not God to get you through these times, and you need to kind of cut back and do the things that you're doing well and not overextend yourself.
Get a refresher also. You gotta remember to kind of stop at one point and realize. I mean, we just came out of a youth convention. Yeah. We had that, but throughout. I mean, you look throughout the year. You go, you know, go, and then you stop because you're not doing it. I mean, we're technically leading. But you're also getting, you spend your time pouring out to people the whole time. I mean, you're pouring out. And it gets to these points where you're just like, you're realizing you also need to get poured into. And you forget what that feels like because you're so busy trying to pour into other people that you forget that you also need to fill yourself. And I mean, it was amazing. I literally stood there, raised my hands into worship, and realized there's someone else singing, there's someone else giving the word, and that was just enough because I could hear, I could sit down, and I mean, we go to church every Sunday, but we're so busy with the back things and trying to do to make things work and make things look pretty, and we just kind of sometimes.
We're just so into the opportunity. We think we're going to miss the opportunity. We look at our circumstances. We look at these things that present themselves and we think, man, this is a great opportunity. Man, if I'm able to do this, I think this is what God is calling me to do. I think this is what He wants me to do. See, I'm one of those guys that if I can't do it well, I don't want to do it at all. But doing it well is just so critical to me. And that standard that I hold myself to is just like, I mean, and sometimes I do think that I feel God in that process, you know, like I think that sometimes I am on balance. And actually, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 in the Amplified Version, it says, be well balanced, be vigilant and cautious at all time, for that enemy of yours, the devil, roams around like a lion, roaring, seeking someone to seize upon and devour. I think that being on balance brings upon destruction.
Yeah. Well, think about when you're unbalanced as the things that it affects. We become stressed, we become tired, we become anxious, we get a little edgy and snap at somebody. And I think the enemy will use those as opportunities, just like that verse says, to, you know, push our buttons. But because we're unbalanced, we can overreact to something and go too farther than we would have ever wanted to go and regret something. And, you know,
I mean, honestly, we don't end up doing things well anyway. You know what I'm saying? We think we're doing so much and covering so much ground, but it's just kind of like one of those things that it's just like, I mean, we have to focus. I think, and it's for myself, guys. I'm not telling you like, I mean, I'm thinking myself, I'm constantly thinking like, okay, what is it that I need to prioritize at this moment? You know, like what is it that I can do, I can't do? You know, where do I need to set my limits? Where is that spot going to be that I need to set, like where I can't, you know, this is where I draw the line. This is where this is enough time. I keep constantly running out of time because what I do is at home, when I don't have anything to do, I look for something to do. I've gotten so used to understanding that there is something to do, whether personal, whether ministry, whether work related. I end up putting things on my schedule for you know,
fill the time.
I mean, just even, I don't know if it's gotten to the point with you guys like this, but to me sometimes hanging out with friends sometimes it's like it becomes a burden. Something that should be fun, something that I should enjoy, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot that such and such, we were going to go out to eat, or we were going to go out to their house, or they were going to come to our house. And we've had such a hectic weekend. Not that we don't want to do that, but then all of a sudden you think of that and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm drained. I wish I didn't have to do that. You know, and I think that, you know, I don't think God is pleased in that process. You know, I think an unbalanced life creates, you know, we think that by saying no a lot of times we're missing out on opportunities, and I don't think it actually works that way at all. I actually think God is pleased with us at times looking at our lives and saying, this is what I'm capable of doing, this is what I shouldn't do. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to expect everything from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're helping me at my house and I'm like, and you're helping me do something, and we're doing it together, and then you're like, hey, why don't we do this? And I'm like, you sure you want to do that right now? Yeah, I'm here. Let me help you.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And next thing you know what I'm saying? If you plan on being there for 4 hours, you're there for 8 hours. I'm like, he wanted to help. You know what I'm saying? So
that would happen to me too.
Yeah.
I just never say no.
Yeah, I've had in the experiences that I've had, everybody looks at their life through their own lens, and this includes senior pastors and leaders in companies and things like that. They are looking for ways to making their company better, their church better. They're looking at things through their lens. I had a pastor who would be very strong about her calling and what God was doing and, what God wanted to do in the ministry and the ministry and the ministry. And you were just a part of that, And it was one of those things where if you didn't know how to say, hey, I can't do that anymore, it was like a constant push, more and more and more,
Well, I mean, sometimes we have to realize that being balanced and staying balanced are two different things.
Yeah.
We compare ourselves, like, for example, if we try to just stand up and with one foot, right? All you're doing, you're just staying balanced.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier for, like you said, in the word it says, so much easier for you to get knocked over.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing. You're fighting from being balanced to just staying balanced, and that's all we're doing. We're just staying balanced, trying, and all of a sudden you're going to get knocked over, and the one that's only going to get hurt in this is you and those that you love around you. It's one of the biggest responsibilities in my life is I'm the head of my household,
Right.
and I have to stay balanced, but then I realize I am just keeping myself just trying to not go from one side or the other. And that's one of the biggest things, is realizing. And one thing I've learned is to just give it to God and allowing myself to spend time, not as I have to pray, but more of I want to give this time. And kind of like, as everything's moving around me, I just need to stop. And just concentrate and not ask for anything, but just to say, here's who I am, and here's the areas that I think I need to work on, and then pause. So that's one of the.
Well, I mean, on the seventh day, God rested, which is like something to keep in mind of this Sabbath.
God needed a rest, right? They're like, no, not me.
7 days a week. All month, and I think that's a reflection of how we need to do that as well, and have that. I think it's more of like a mindset rather than like a lawful thing of, we need rest. Sometimes we need to decompress. But do you guys find in ministry, Sundays can often be very hectic? Is there like another time that you guys try to decompress, or is it
Friday and Saturday, man?
Friday night.
When especially I get paid,
like the end of the month, it's like
I get paid, man. It's Friday night, Saturday, and then back again to work.
I honestly think that mornings are a great opportunity to start the day off. But because I do think, and people may disagree with me on this, but I do think that one thing that we are never unbalanced is having a strong relationship with Christ. I don't think there's too much of that.
Right.
I know that sounds crazy. I know there's too much prayer time. You know what I'm saying? I know too much reading of the Bible. I'm just saying, God lives in us. And we are called to have a strong relationship with God. And that should be on the forefront. I mean, God should be in everything. God should be in our breakfast time, in our time with our family, in our church time, in our work time. I mean, the Bible says to do everything as if you were doing it for God. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is just like, saying God needs to be put in the corner because I need to balance my life, it doesn't go that way. It's more like bring God into everything in your life, and your life kind of picks on from there and balance itself. I was bringing this whole thing about opportunity because a lot of times we go all in trying not to miss an opportunity, okay? But we forget that in that process we end up missing opportunities in the second place. I mean, in Luke chapter 10, Martha You know,
Martha.
as Jesus and the disciples.
Martha.
Wait till you see what I did to you. Riley doesn't know, but I'm telling you, I got him good. I got him good.
Well, I don't know what for.
I know,
and I don't think I deserve it.
No, I think you should just go back.
He doesn't deserve it. He said he doesn't deserve it.
Listen.
That's like, what's that called? Privilege? Is he privileged right now?
No.
You don't deserve it. I'm telling you. Anyways.
So Martha actually missed out on the whole idea of Jesus coming to her house because she was so worked up. She was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing, the Bible says in Luke chapter 10, right? And she actually got mad at her sister for sitting down and listening to Jesus and the word that he had to bring to her home. And she even says to the Lord, she says, Lord, doesn't it seem unfair that my sister just sits there with all the stuff that we have to do? And actually, I love that Jesus says to her, my dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. And Mary has discovered it. You know what I'm saying? So in wanting to gain an opportunity and not miss out on an opportunity, she missed out on the biggest opportunity of it all.
Yeah. I think that happens so much. I mean, like in church too, when we start, if we ever find ourselves comparing what we do to somebody else that's already, you know, just set up for disaster, because you're either going to start feeling prideful or you're going to, you know, be jealous or envious and want to do more. Mm-hmm. But, you know, when we're so focused on what we're doing, I think in that point, it's like, we're doing this for God, and it feels good, and you're justifying yourself for doing it in the name of Jesus and for church, but it's kind of like to slow down and take a step back, and I think you need a lot of wisdom to understand, like, am I doing this effective, and the purpose that I'm doing this for, is it getting done, or am I missing the whole point and I'm just doing an activity that's not even going to matter anymore?
And are we really doing it for God?
Yeah, I mean,
or is it for ourselves? Because really, when we come down to it, when we really think about it, we're doing it for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Excess is the enemy's playground, right? We want more, 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 we want more. In whatever way possible, we want to expedite everything. We want to expedite our calling. We want to expedite our finances by working harder at work. And if we put more hours, and if I do more, it's going to result in more promotions. If we do more in ministry, then I'll be able to get further into ministry to where God wants me quicker. You know what I'm saying? If I spend more time with my family and I do this and I do this family thing, it'll get to where we need to, we want more and we want more and we want more. I love this quote, and I wrote this a while back. It says, there are two ways to get enough. All right? There are two ways to get enough. One is to continue to accumulate more and more. All right? And another one is to desire less. And I think balance starts there. I know you might look at that and say, that's a defeatist attitude. Life today is all about, if it doesn't cost you anything, it's not worth doing, and you know what I'm saying? And we end up burning our backs, killing ourselves, trying to accomplish these things when really, we're putting expectations on ourselves that, God is looking at us like, it's on me whether I turn you into what I want to make you or not. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's not that I'm just looking at my life and saying I'm going to desire less, but at the same time, like I told you from the beginning, we go from one extreme to the other. Mm-hmm. We either want more, and we can't stop, or, you know what I'm saying? We just stop. Yeah. I'm burnt out, can't do anymore. I'm just not going to do anything at all and take it from there. And that's not really how we balance our lives.
I mean, in the way I see these things is I like to also seek help from others. Surround myself from just those people that kind of have kind of seem like they have it, like they know the answer, but the answer has been there the whole time, and they just seek God, and that's what they do. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, you a lot of good thing could be a bad thing, but surrounding yourself and having a relationship with Christ becomes that kind of light in you, and other people can see it. And just kind of when you surround yourself with these people, you realize how unimportant other things are, and you just kind of It's just like a breather. And I think that's one of the things we need to also set aside. I'm so concentrated in titles. I'm so concentrated in you giving, I said, I don't deserve the glory. I don't deserve, but I want it for some reason. Like I want it because I put in the work. I put in the time, and it's unfair that other people, but that's the thing is you just need to realize that at the end of the day, God is using you. You're an instrument. I am an instrument, and He's going to do what He's going to do.
Right.
I think it's when you as you further and further in your walk with God, you start to learn that people are to. I guess we're gonna have to cut this part out. People are for. Like God gave us people to. Not just to get things done, not to accomplish things. We're not all just cogs on the wheels, but we're also supposed to commune with each other and have fellowship.
Right.
And sometimes I think we can view people as just, I need this person to get something done. I need this person as a link in my life to get me further.
Yeah.
And there's that balance of, working together and getting things done and accomplishing things, but enjoy it while you're doing it. Right. Don't make it all about where you're going and just trying to get to the next step. But, having that balance of, enjoying it and getting something done, because I think you can be productive and enjoy what you're doing at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think step one is bring God into everything.
Yeah.
Right? Whether through relationship with Him and boom, you say, okay, now God is in my life and everything. All right? He's in my home. He's in my job. He's in my ministry life. He's in my life personally. He's in everything. Okay? So you bring God into everything. Step two is find something you enjoy doing. Right? Yeah. Dude, life has become so much about I hate, the idea that I can't enjoy a moment, of something that I like to do just because there's some demand of something else that has to be done, or, you know what I'm saying? I hate taking a break and understanding that when that break is over, the workload has doubled and tripled in my life in other areas. Like I'm literally... Like I'm procrastinating when I take a break to do something fun. Like if I'm literally going to go, I like golfing, right? If I'm going to go golf for these 4 hours, then when I get back, I'm going to get out of work early, then I'm going to have to have so much work to do, then I got to cut the grass on Saturday, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things start to accumulate, like, you know what, I'm not going to go golfing. I'm just going to let, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let my responsibilities drive me, let life control me. I'm not going to control life, I'm not going to control my responsibilities. I'm just going to let time and everything that I have to do drive what I do every day, every minute of my life. And you end up getting yourself in this cycle where life is just redundant.
Yeah.
It's just redundant, and you wonder why you sit on the couch like a zombie at the end of the day watching some Netflix show thinking, dang, why am this is supposed to be fun, but I feel like I don't know whether I should fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do some. It's like it's only 6, but
I think finding stuff that you like to do. If you want to eat that slice of cake, man.
You did that today. I got home. There was nothing to cook. There was nothing to eat, and I said, "We gotta go record this podcast." So I literally I saw this cake, and I just went ham at it.
Same calories, less feelings.
I saw my son. I was like, "You want some cake?" He was like, "Yeah,
let's go."
So I don't feel as guilty.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I think sometimes it's like a chain effect of if smaller things are out of balance, that can affect our whole life, because we can be relatively fine and in balance, but then certain areas of our life are out of balance. And social media is one of those interesting things that you could just hammer balance into it all day long, because it's not inherently bad,
right?
And has its benefits, and it's entertaining and can be beneficial, but it's clearly taking a toll on some people of the overuse. Like you said, too much of something that's good can still be bad. Yeah. And at the same, Angel and I, we both fasted, or took off social media at the same time, and I learned a lot how beneficial that was. What? But I took it out, and sorry. All right. Got it. When I got off social media, and I forget how long it was. I think it was just 21 days. But I saw a lot of benefit from it. Right. Even just from the start of my day, waking up, not feeling the need to get on my phone, and just thinking and just kind of thinking about the day and being in the presence of God while I have my worship music on and just get ready. But then I got it back, and I was like, all right. And slowly but surely, I found, like, you go back to it, and I was like, this is so frustrating because it's not bad, but I just find, like, man, the time that I spend on just mindlessly scrolling through, it's like, I'm not even looking anymore. I'm just scrolling through.
It's the demand of it. I mean, it's like many things in our lives. Your job could do the same thing to you. The demand of it just grows and grows based on this, you know what I'm saying? So to do social media and do it right and do it a certain way requires at least this much. So that demand is there. Whether you want to do it or not. It's like playing basketball, you know what I'm saying? Without counting the score. You know what I'm saying? It's like it requires you to count a score and to pick a winning number. These things have become the same way. There's a demand, there's a requirement. So when you say, I will do this, that requires this much commitment. And it's one of those things, something like social media. I'm telling you, I haven't figured it out. To balance social media. There's these days where I'm either off social media completely, like I just like, nah, I'm not looking at it today. You know what I'm saying? Or there's these days where I'm sitting there like, nah, you know? And I think it's just so, don't you feel stupid though when you've been on social media for like
there's nothing else to see. It gets the stories repeated.
So disgusted, man. I don't know what it is, and it's cool. I mean,
that break was pretty good. I mean, I ended up doing 3 months without my personal account. We do have the church account, and but with the church account, all you do is just post, and then there's nothing else to see. Right?
I don't know any of these people.
It's good because when you're scrolling through it, Bible verses and whatever, but you're just posting these things. And I realized I went 3 months. Now, because of those 3 months, I have found a balance. I am in social media, but I haven't been as I was. Like I just don't get in on these other platforms that I had. I only get into one platform, and then that's it. I just try not to look at the others. It's just I lost interest on there. But
what I'm doing now is I had Instagram. I'm pretty much only on Instagram. I don't have a Twitter, and I don't get on Facebook. And Snapchat's more like messaging to me. But it was the center icon on my front page, and by default, I would click on it if I was bored. So I moved it to my very last page. So at least to get to it, I have to swipe, and it's not really in front of my face. And that's actually helped a lot. And I think, like in that sense, that example, other areas of our life, it's just trying something out. You don't always have to get it right the first time, but at least be making an effort to play around with it and see. And I think having God in every area of our life helps, and with that wisdom to try something different, see if it works, and if it doesn't, change it up a little bit. So.
What became, I always say this, is what became, a lot of things start as a convenience and end up being a demand. You know what I'm saying? It's like phones. Like my wife and I do this thing where we said, we're upstairs, and I even asked her last night, I remember like right now, I asked her last night, I said, hey, I should have left my phone downstairs, because I caught myself looking to my email and stuff like that. And she's like, I left mine downstairs. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I should have done it. So I was the one with the idea, and she had already done it. Like, you know what I was thinking? And she's like, I did it. So I think it's like that. Something that started as a convenient. I remember, I could imagine those people that used to say, no, I could get my emails on my phone. Dang, that's going to be such a convenience.
Help me be productive.
And now work is like, here's a phone. You need to look at your emails. You know what I'm saying? So what became what was a convenience or something that we liked having access to became now this demand. I mean, in some ways, social media is becoming that to a certain extent. You can't get away from certain things. And listen, I don't want to sit here and rumble about social media. I just want to talk about balance in general. And these things are things that attract us a lot. But the thing about social media is that I'm sitting here talking about things that we enjoy. You know what I'm saying? And social media is one of those things. Do you enjoy it?
I find like sometimes, but at the end of the day, I really don't need it. And I've contemplated, we talked about, the new year. I've thought about deleting everything. And just being that kid that like
thinking about that last night.
Because like, can I focus on people, and can I just, do I need it? Is it a necessity? Like, do I need to know what everybody's doing? And to be honest, everybody posts about the same thing And like you said, not to harp on social
Right,
media.
right,
I,
right.
you know, teachers their
Here
own.
we are, right?
Yeah.
We
are harping on it.
Spend like
I think
20 minutes on social
I
media.
think it can be a heart check.
This will be on
sometimes.
YouTube. Follow us.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Instagram.
Like. We're on Instagram, Facebook.
Remember. It's addicting, but remember to do it.
GL_youth.
You shouldn't
Throw
do
that
it, but since
shout
you're
out.
going to be there, just like us,
Yeah.
share. No, just kidding.
Since you're already there. Might as
You
well
know,
get
but like you said, I'm on, you know, the church Instagram and stuff, and
Yeah.
I think communication through that's great. So, you know, I haven't found the balance for it.
Yeah.
Hopefully I do.
So if you had to say, I mean, not to get all personal, but what things do you look forward to the new year to like focus on things that we like? You know, we already said bringing God into our life as a whole, and then number two, just finding what we like. You know, even personally, you know, you're married, but don't think of that, right? We know that the requirement of a family person, but you know. What does Angel, you know what I'm saying, want to do in 2019? You know what I'm saying? To create a well-balanced, you know, lifestyle that, you know, he could spend a little bit of time doing things that he actually enjoys to do, you know? Like eating that big slice of cake.
Yeah, that was good. And just, I mean, remember, like you said, when you do something that you enjoy,
Yeah,
and just keep doing it.
right.
If you notice that it's turning into a job,
Right.
you need to step
Yeah.
back from it.
Yeah, that's good.
Because it will happen.
Right. That's
It happens with us. You know,
Yeah.
we record and we make these videos, and we like doing these videos,
Right.
and we enjoy. I really like going out
Right.
uptown and getting
Right.
some like.
Yeah.
Right.
They look at me and they're like, "Look at that dude! What is he doing?" Because I'm like bending over,
Yeah.
trying to. You know, I enjoy doing these
Yeah.
things, but sometimes it becomes a job.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to learn because I will sit there for 4 hours editing a video while my wife and my son are watching TV or doing something else, and I could literally just say, okay, I need to step
Yeah.
back. So I enjoy it and do something that you enjoy, but also remember to step back
Yeah.
and get some breathers. And
So I think if we had to say something tonight, I mean, I would say that we need to do a self-analysis, and I think this is the hardest part where people have the hardest time in life.
Being
It's just,
true to oneself.
yeah, you have to really look at yourself and say, okay, am I well balanced?
Yep.
And I'm gonna be honest, the majority of us look at our lives on a day-to-day basis, and if this, we prep for this, right?
Yeah.
We knew we were gonna talk about balance, so of course we're sitting in a pretty good offensive stance right now
Right.
today.
Analyzing.
Right. We've analyzed it, studied it. We're like,
This is what you need.
Yeah, I got it, right?
But then we go, "Oh,
if
like
you
that."
catch us,
cake,
yeah. If you catch us
man, I'm gonna bring some
randomly
cake.
and asked us, analyze your life, do you feel well balanced?
Yeah.
I mean, I would believe, man, a high percentage of people would say no. You know what I'm saying? I don't like, because if you're frustrated with how school is going, if you're frustrated how work is going, if you're frustrated with how things are going personally, you can't sit here and admit to me that you feel well balanced. You know what I'm saying? And I think God wants this from us. You know what I'm saying? I think in order to go to the next step, God never intended for us to be in a position like this where we're, you know, there's people, the suicide rate is off the charts, and people are just, I mean, and those are serious things. People are going through depression and things like that. And you would think, wow, they have so much access to so many things through different avenues or whatever. Why is there so much, frustration, and people are dealing with so many mental barriers? It's because you have to self-analyze yourself and be honest with yourself and say, you know what? You're right. I'm not well balanced. I'm spending too much time, focusing on work. Work is going to be what it's going to be. Ministry sometimes, hey, listen, it's going to be what it's going to be. I mean, our personal lives, anything, the work around the house, anything, relationships, they're going to be what they're going to be. You need to begin to look at your life and say, well, let me step back. I'm honestly not well balanced. What areas of my life do I need to balance first? Boom, let's bring a relationship with God. That needs to be our first priority.
Yeah.
Family, let's bring balance to those families, those two important relationships that we may have. You know what I'm saying? Ministry, okay, you've called me to do this, God. Based on what I have around me, I have a full-time job, I have school, I have family, I have so many things. How do I do this? Because it's in my heart to do it. You know what I'm saying? How do I do this and maintain a balance that is pleasing to you and that it keeps me sane up here?
Right.
Because so many times we talk about what displeases God, and in reality, we're losing our freaking minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's just something that I think if you're watching tonight, I think it is something to keep in mind. I mean, it is important. It is important.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much you're accomplishing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could have more by gaining more and accumulating more and pursuing more opportunity and more opportunity. But the reality is, you know, that's short-lived. That's short-lived. And there's so many things around you that are valued at so much higher. Especially if you bring God into those situations. So my advice to us and to everyone watching is to find a common ground, like Angel was talking about. Step back a little bit. Don't get, you know, if you catch yourself going and not really understanding why I just did all what I did, just think for a minute. You know, who am I pleasing? How do I feel about what I'm doing? And is this really the priority? Is this... It's time to self-analyze ourselves and just say, maybe we need to stop. Maybe we need to stop for a second and just start over in a lot of areas in our lives, you know, and I'll let people identify whatever that is. I'll identify that for myself. I'll let these two guys identify that for themselves. And just, I mean, I don't know you as much as you know yourself, and God knows you even more than that. So if I had to say anything tonight is bring God into your life. And just self-analyze your life and everything that you do in it, and just think for a second. How am I going about this? You know, take some time, write comments below. We want to be here. If you have any questions, like I said, I mean, you know, there's an enemy out there looking for unbalanced people to destroy. So it is important. You know, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. All right. If you can't do it consistently for a long period of time, scrap it. Don't do it at all. All right. So I just want to thank you guys for watching, and listen, subscribe, you know, like us, share us, put a comment below. We like to pick the comments below and just kind of give a gift. So take your time, write a comment. We'll send you a gift card. What do you guys want to do, like Starbucks or something?
Man, I love Starbucks.
Yeah, so, but yeah, you wanna say anything else? You guys want to say anything else? No?
And yeah, just one last thing. If you follow us on Instagram and if you follow us on Facebook, feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for. And if anything, I mean, not only in the comments, but in social media itself, if you ever find yourself in our page, just reach out to us just to say hi, or if you have any questions or anything, we would love to hear from you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
This was good.
Yeah, and take this conversation into your life. You know, we've all sat here and talked about it. I think it'd be great, you know, if you analyze yourself and then also bring it up with some of your friends and family, and you know, I think accountability is one of those great things of seeing, you know, you can tell me if I'm looking a little unbalanced. Yeah. So talk about it. Conversation's great, and you'll learn a lot from it. So
So remember, guys, balance yourself. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
Boom.